People often ask me about the cameras that I use. And in fact, when I travel to the tropics, then I always have my pretty old Olympus. It's something that is just practical, and it's old, and so I don't care if something happens to it. I have a macro lens, a zoom lens, and several other lenses, so that's really practical. In another video, I already spoke about my passion for my Ricoh Q2, because as a street photographer, this is probably the camera that I prefer when I'm in a safe place and I'm just walking around taking photos. And I explained before that with this camera, I'm taken seriously as a photographer, which sounds ridiculous, but very often it happens that I'm not really taken serious as a photographer when I use other cameras. That's just what happens. And besides, I also appreciate that I have a lot of contacts, because people stop me in the street, they look at my camera, they say, hey, I have a camera, I like a camera too. So it's kind of a community, which I like. In a way, it's a nice way of connecting to new people and to just talk to someone in the street. The other camera that I just love for street photography is my little Ricoh. And maybe you remember that I already posted a video where I explained how I crashed it. Yeah, I fell on the floor. And so yeah, that happened last, I think in April 2022. So I have been waiting since then. I wasn't really sure, should I get me a new one, should I not? And so I just waited. But I miss my little Ricoh. It's such a wonderful camera because it's so small, and often I travel very light, and I just took this with me. So they made a new edition, the Ricoh GR III diary edition with a special limited kit. And yeah, apparently it's made more for women. It's more for snapshots, not really for street photographers, but just for everybody, but specifically for women. Now guess why? I mean, these colors are just, I love them really. I like it. And I think that's something that is missing. We don't have many cameras made specifically for women. And obviously, I mean, should we have these categories, women and men? It's a bit old-fashioned, I know. I mean, we should at least have 3 categories, men and women and diverse, and so many others. And I don't like to think in categories, but then still, I have a different expectation towards my cameras than I see that most of my male colleagues and friends have. So I couldn't care less for pixels or whatever, although I care for quality, obviously. I mean, this is why I got me the Ricoh. It's a fantastic quality, and yeah, but ask me technical details, I'm not interested. Honestly, to me, it's just playing with my camera, feeling self-confident when I go out into the city and take photos, or also when I walk through nature. Practical aspects, that's where my Olympus comes in again. It's just necessary that my camera works also in a bit problematic environments. But I have this affinity for aesthetics, so I just like this. I just like the colors, honestly. I think this is really something made for what I feel about my cameras. I have a lot of them. I showed this in several videos. And I kind of like them all, so there's no reason to say this one is better than the other. I'm not very objective, maybe. I have a preference for certain brands. You see that I don't have certain other brands, although I know there are a lot of other cameras that I would love if I had them. But, well, 3 big, wonderful cameras is pretty good already. And I have several more in my drawer, which I use not that much anymore, and I'm thinking of giving them to some kids who have the passion. So yeah, I will go on posting things to share my experience with the new camera and with my old cameras, and I will take you on my journey through cameras, techniques, applications, where I use which camera. And let's share this together. I'm happy to do this with you, following me and asking questions.